I mean, I guess that's the answer to the jiu-jitsu. You know, um,
Just turned, made eye contact, and I got nervous. Like, I legitimately. Perfect.
I'm coming for you. You better be ready.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hammer's Lounge, episode 16.
Back, baby.
Yeah, we're
Already.
back.
I say that every time.
On time, though, this time. We're back on time.
Yeah,
We're
on
not-
time. Right before 9, Tuesday. Hey, we're doing better.
We're actually on schedule, not 2 days late. Joining us from Young Kings Wrestling, we've got Reek Havoc in the house. Reek, what's going on?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Thanks for having
Good,
me
man. No, absolutely. Glad to have you. It's about time we get someone else around here that, enjoys talking MMA.
Yeah, so Reek and I share this in common. We both host pro wrestling podcasts, but are actually MMA fans as well. What an odd thing to be.
You can be both. No, not at all. You can be both.
Ask a lot of MMA fans out there. They don't believe you can be
I think
man.
I think both sides, yeah.
What do you
Especially
think,
MMA fans.
They complement each other if you really think about it. Like,
right?
Guys gotta promote themselves in MMA and in wrestling, so it all works. You know, you gotta have two sides of the coin. You gotta be able to go in the cage or in the ring, and you gotta be able to talk if you really want to be a star.
It's actually a good point nowadays, man. If you're a vanilla based, talker like, oh, I gotta thank God, I gotta thank my teammates, blah blah blah. Like, you're not gonna be in the headlines. You gotta be. Conor McGregor paved the way, man. Nowadays in MMA, you gotta talk shit. You gotta be animated. You know,
Conor broke the whole mold.
Yeah, he really did.
Look at what he did for Colby Covington.
Right?
No one.
Right?
Everyone thinks he just showed up talking shit about Brazil. Like, no, he had several wins in the UFC.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm so glad you said that because I've been saying that for months. Like, Kobe, everyone wanted to hate Kobe. And I asked this question, no one gave me a straight answer. I'm like, we all want to hate Kobe, but we all cheer for Conor when he did the exact same thing because he made money. Kobe was on his way out. He was going to get cut. Like, he had to do something.
Yeah.
And now it's like this guy's headlining pay-per-views. How do you do that if you don't piss people off, basically?
Yeah.
That's
Do you think people drew the line at the MAGA persona? Because that's kind of the character he adopted was.
No, man, but then
that's MAGA.
That's what made people hate him even more. That's what drew more attention to him. Dana was loving it.
It was smart. It was smart because at the height of everything that was going on, it's like you got to capitalize on it. You're either gonna get like we say in wrestling, you're either gonna get nuclear heat or you're not gonna get anywhere. So it's like screw it. I guess if you're gonna go all the way.
Imagine if he actually isn't a Trump supporter because he met the president. He took his fake belt and took pictures with Trump. Imagine if that was just for his persona, but he fucking in reality he hated Trump. Now he's like fake smiling next to pictures because Trump's like, oh, you're an inspiration.
We'll have to wait for his tell-all after his career wraps up and he writes an autobiography or something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You guys, we shoot this live, or at least we attempt to, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/The Kai Tai Show. Okay, so time may vary. Might be 9:30, might be Thursday. But we try to be live on Tuesday.
It's just set sometime during the week. We'll put content out.
Yeah, we'll notify you within about 2 minutes notice that we're live. But if you miss any of our live streams, please look us up on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. That way you can always watch our podcast, even if you miss the live stream. All right.
Yeah, listen to us while you work or something. I don't know. Isn't that what podcasts are for?
Oh yeah,
that's what I've always done with Bill Burr. Bill Burr makes the day go by a lot easier.
Dude, I'm like halfway through this first drink, and I'm definitely regretting it.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
It's so much sugar, man. It's not the world's worst martini that I made on air. That
Oh,
Ugh, I'd rather
swamp
not
water
remember
looking
that.
mess.
It's like drinking a cold loogie.
I'd never known a martini to be kind of just like dark. I thought it was always, the clear shit with a little olive in it. Some guy in a suit's drinking it.
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
The James Bond drink.
Yeah,
exactly.
I fucked it up, man. It was brown.
Kyle had a witch's cauldron just sitting there, just fucking.
No, looked like
Kyle, what are you doing?
Did not work out well. What are you drinking, Kurt?
I got the old Senators Club.
Senators Club.
That and got my Sam Adams.
Sweet deal.
Sam Adams Boston Lager, man. I got to represent.
Reek, you said you're not cracking anything just yet.
Nah, not yet.
What do you like to drink? How about that?
Lately I've been having a lot of that Terramana from the Rock.
Oh yeah,
that is some good stuff.
What's that?
When we did UWO, I had some of that.
Yeah, Terramana. It's the Rock's tequila.
Oh, the stuff you've been having. Okay,
yeah, man.
Okay,
some good shit.
God, the Rock just crushing it.
Have you ever had Añejo tequila?
Me?
I don't think I heard of that.
Reek. So tequila comes in like three main flavors. Tequila, you have silver, reposado, and then Añejo. Añejo's what's up, man. If you find a good tequila in Añejo, try that out, man. It's delicious. I think my favorite is unfortunately it's expensive as shit. Is a Patron Añejo. Ain't nothing like it, man. It's so good.
I can't do tequila, man.
No?
I mean, even if I didn't have that one bad experience at 15, I still wouldn't be able to do it.
Everybody's got a tequila story.
You remember you remember walking me back to the place you was staying.
We left Kurt.
Oh my God.
We left Kurt. We all got drunk, and there was a housing development being built up in town. Now we're all underage, so we couldn't drink at home. So we go to this place. So there's these duplexes being built. No one lives in them yet, right?
Yes, they still got the wrapping on the side and shit. They're half built.
So we thought it was a good idea to drink in these uninhabited homes, And I can't remember why, but I remember.
Yeah, he was just like, "Yeah, Kurt, I'll be right back."
Yeah, the party had to split. No cell phones. You know what I mean? No cell phones. None of that. You just trust a man on his word.
I am just hammered, just in this place. I was like, "All right, I'll just lay here on this wood floor."
Yeah, when I was walking back to the building, all I could see on the outside, this is a 2-story building, just a streak of vomit down the wall on the outside.
I mean, those poor workers, because they had to replace that entire.
No, they probably just sprayed it. They probably just sprayed it off, man. You don't need it.
Still, though,
vinyl,
it was just a. No, it was in the wood and shit too. Like, come on. Because I ended up throwing up out the window. Yep, I was walking by the next day, and I was like, "What is that?" Oh, yeah. No.
So you don't drink tequila anymore?
Dude, I haven't drank tequila since probably last time I lived with you. Can't do it, man. Yeah. Everyone has that alcohol that they sniff, and they're just like, okay, hold on.
I'm kind of there with vodka. Can't do vodka no more.
No. Only whiskey, man.
Yeah.
Only whiskey. But hey,
everyone's
young once. We all have those stories.
Oh yeah.
At least it was kind of trying to be responsible.
Reed, what's your take on pivot here? Actually, talk MMA. What's your take on?
We always do that though. We always do that. We always start, and I mean, even before, like, we'll have a pre-show and be like, all right, yeah, we're gonna hit the bricks hard, on this blah blah blah. Really, and then 20 minutes into the show, it's like, this summer, Sylvester Stallone is a stapler. We get off track, but hey, we warn people before. It's an MMA podcast. We'll get there eventually.
We will. Anyway, Sean O'Malley, what's your take on this kid, Rick?
Oh my God, I love Sean O'Malley, dude. Like that is my guy.
Man.
I saw snippets of him in Contender Series, and just, I mean, the guy's got style. He seems completely well rounded. I think the only knock that he's had so far is the durability, because of these injuries that keep popping up.
Mhm.
But if you just take that out of it, I mean, this guy, there's no ceiling for where he can go. And I was more than happy to see him get back on track, get that win. I thought he really almost blew it, because, you know, trying to get that walk off before finishing the deal, I was worried, but you know, he
Almeida was hurt though. I mean, he tried to come back, but no, that first exchange, but when he, you know, dropped him, he was just it was hard to come back after that.
Did you hear the soundbite of his like joking response to why he walked off?
No.
So obviously he's kidding, but he says
his ankle hurt?
His right hand is the one that puts him to sleep, you know, and that's like the Sugar Show or something. Like he was going off, like he was putting over that it's his right hand. So he's like, I dropped him with my left. He's like, I needed him to get back up so I could knock him out with my right. He's like, I didn't walk off because I thought I knocked him out. He was joking. He was like, I was letting him up so I could knock him out again. Obviously all tongue in cheek. It was all tongue in cheek.
Right. I will say though, because seeing him from the Contender Series to now, I mean, he has improved leaps and bounds. I will say though, I'm not a fan of him.
Come on now,
I'm not a fan of him, but he's fast in there. Some of those spinning back kicks that he was throwing and shit like that.
Yeah, but
I was like, Jesus.
You can study for those. You know, you see him coming. You know, as a pro wrestling fan, Reek, you should be kind of upset, man. We don't like gimmick infringement. He's over here stealing Chael Sonnen's undefeated gimmick. You know, man, come on, man. That's
well, I mean, it stands to question because of what happened. It's like on paper we look at it like, look, he got you. You got to take the loss as it is. But it's
man, the way it was too, the way that loss was, it was like, I mean, you pounded him out on the ground, you know.
Yeah, and he kept attacking that leg, so it wasn't completely a freak thing. Like it was different factors to it, but he was attacking that leg. At the end of the day, it's like you fall, you take the hit, and it is what it is. But you know, it's one of those things about, like I said before, the durability is a question. But you know, that aside, I mean, look, he's still going straight up. I mean, he's in a good place.
Do you want to see a rematch?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to see a rematch with Chico?
I think. Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
I'd like to see that.
I think I don't know for 100% that he'll like get the win back. But
I'd be scared, man.
I think Marlon Vera actually fought since then, and I think he won. Let me look that up.
No, Chico Vera, two different people, right?
Chico.
Right.
I think that's just his nickname. Cheeto. Yeah, Cheeto. I think that's just his nickname. Cheeto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Marlon Vera, but
it is Marlon Vera. All right.
Yeah, it's his nickname. But I'm pretty sure he fought.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Because I remember I got him confused with Marlon Moraes, and that's why I started thinking they were different people, Chico Vera and Marlon Moraes. But I got you now.
But I mean, it's like Reek was saying, a loss is a loss, man. But it's O'Malley's really just trying to get that like superstar persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's at a point you gotta be like not delusional, but you gotta kind of act a little bit like Chael Sonnen did. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Kobe Covington, he was wearing fake belts to a fucking arenas attending.
God.
You know what I mean? So it's just this whole like undefeated thing. You know, all right, if he faces Vera again and beats him, I mean, I won't call him undefeated. It'd be like, all right, you got that win back, you know, and let's see. Yeah. Now let's see, you know, let's take a step up. Well, because I was saying Thomas Almeida, it was a step up from his previous competition, other than Marlon Vera. Because there was a point in time where Almeida was a deadly striker in the UFC, but then you look at it, he's lost 4 out of his last 5 fights, you know, all due to basically TKO. How much does that really raise O'Malley's stock, especially with what O'Malley was able to do to him, you know?
Well, so this is where we always like to come to whenever we talk about these fighters is what's next, and we take a look at the rankings. So the current looking at the bantamweight rankings, some standout names out of the top 15. Of course, Marlon Vera right there, gatekeeper, number 15 himself. O'Malley could break into the top rankings going through him. It's not
What
like
is
you're gonna,
O'Malley?
huh?
Well, like 17, 18?
He's got to be.
What-
Well, they don't. If you're outside of 15, you're not ranked.
Yeah.
You're just a contender.
So he's not even ranked in the top
Yeah.
15 yet.
So some standout names to me.
I wasn't sure what that Almeida win would do for him.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would break him into the 15, but I thought, UFC is trying to push that guy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got Jimmy
So I
Rivera
thought
at
maybe.
11. That's an interesting matchup.
Ooh, that's a good matchup.
If I'm not
Rivera's
doing the
never an easy
rematch,
night.
I'm eyeballing Rafael Asuncion coming off of that knockout loss to Cody Garbrandt.
Surprised he hasn't fought. I mean, I'm not surprised he hasn't fought since that, because that just, Jesus Christ. I mean,
That's
just
a bad
what?
one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big right hand.
Yeah.
I mean, basically as hard as Cody can throw, and Cody's always been a nasty boxer. So, and Asuncion has never been put away like that.
Well, I mean, he was-
Exactly.
Asuncion has always been top competition, man, and like, Asuncion was caught with a guillotine, and everyone was freaking out.
Yeah.
So for Asuncion to be laid out like that, it's like, okay, that was a bad one.
And then from there, we have the dream matches. But you're going to need at least a fight to get a match with any of these guys. Dominic Cruz, Pedro Munoz, Frankie Edgar, previously
match
mentioned Marlon Moraes.
Dominic Cruz and O'Malley. That's interesting.
And then, of
That'd
course,
be
you
an
got
interesting
Jose, Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font, who is a dark horse right now. People need to stop sleeping on Rob Font.
one. Yeah.
And then, of course,
Boston
number one,
native,
ranked
man.
Peter Yan. So we agree he probably shouldn't fight inside the top 10, right? We need to get him a fight to get him from 15 to 10, right?
I think probably Jimmy
Jimmy.
Rivera makes sense. I think that would probably be O'Malley's like big coming out party. It's kind of like he's almost had one before, but you look at it, it's like, oh, it's not quite. It's something about it. It's like, he's not quite there yet. But yeah, you put him in the top 15, Rivera, someone like that. Yeah. Yeah. If he wins decisively, that's when we'll be talking about like, okay, let's get maybe top 10 opponent. Not so much top 5, but top 10. Got that factor, man.
Dominic, Pedro, Frankie, and Marlon. Oh. I mean,
put him against Frankie.
Just to get from 10 to 5 is murderer's row.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see him against Frankie. I remember Yair Rodriguez had the same O'Malley thing coming out. I mean, he was killing everyone with his striking, and then Frankie took him down and pounded him in the canvas, dude.
Well, Frankie has something to prove after going to the sleep for the first time.
Exactly.
That's clean.
I'm honestly surprised that we haven't seen Frankie retire. After that last knockout, man, I mean, that was because we saw it back in the day, it would take forever. I mean, it would take a powerful shot to even wobble Frankie.
Yeah.
Dude,
I don't care who you are, man. That
saw Brian
Corey
Ortega
Sandhagen's flying knee would have
him.
put down a horse.
Yeah.
As clean as that hit.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, early, younger Frankie would never have gotten caught with that. But I don't know.
That's hard to say, man.
That was a very fast flying knee, but I feel like, Frankie, the old Frankie.
Well,
because he's slowing down a little bit.
Well, not only that, besides your physical attributes fading over time, the number one thing that works against you is the amount of tape people have. You want a prime example? Look at
Frank.
Look at what
Aldo?
God. No.
That's kind of been happening to him too.
I don't know why the hell.
Masvidal.
Look what Masvidal did to with that flying knee. That was all because Ben Askren had hours and hours of footage that he just knew. Look, you go here, you come here. His head winds up here because you have hours of footage showing that. The same thing can be said for Frankie Edgar. The man doesn't do anything shy of 25 minutes of fight tape in all of his fights, man. Every fight he goes out there, you get 25 minutes of footage.
I think he's literally top 3 in the records of fight time inside the octagon
man.
and strikes. So I mean, there's a lot of tape, and Frankie's never been one to come out and really do new shit in his later fights. You know, you never saw Frankie all of a sudden he's going for, you know, spinning wheel kicks and shit. You know, it's always been the usual base of Frankie Edgar, but that's what's got him this far, you know.
Yep.
I mean, the guy was a champion, and I don't know. I don't know. Do you think he lost those fights to Ben Henderson?
No, I go into my grave saying Frankie beat Ben Henderson.
No. Yeah.
I go into my grave with that one.
I feel like he would have eventually lost to someone else, but I still feel like he beat Henderson.
The only regret I have about Benson Henderson is he never choked on that fucking toothpick.
How is that possible? How do you fight with the toothpick is already like what? It's like one of the top causes of people choking. Just being people. Just doing shit.
Asshole.
This guy's fighting in a ring with a toothpick in his mouth, and he trains apparently, and he hasn't choked on it yet. I mean, how is that even legal?
Reek, you a Benson Henderson fan?
I'm iffy.
Yeah,
I respect him. We'll put it that way.
The dude had a look. He had a look.
And the guy was, I mean, let's be honest, he was a savage in the ring. I mean, there were stories of him sparring, you know, like he would run through fighters. You know, the guy's he has cardio, amazing cardio for days. And you know, and he beat Nate Diaz, you know, decisively.
Yeah. No, he did there, man. Nate Diaz got shut down.
So he's beat top fighters, man, but that goes to show, like, if he wasn't very marketable. He tried to be kind of in his own way, but it's like the average fan just did not like the guy.
Well, he was coming in while you had the likes of BJ Penn and Frankie Edgar going out, you know, and then Anthony Pettis, fresh off of the Showtime kick. There was just more interesting fighters than Benson, you know. Plus, he wasn't putting anyone to sleep, you know, other than the people watching his fights. Too.
Yeah, he was a decision machine, dude.
Yeah, he wasn't flashy.
No, not at all.
By no means.
Not at all.
Hey, just want to give a shout out to the chat. Chewbacca Laka in the chat says Frankie is a monster. Fontaine 402 says Reek's got a backdrop now.
I gotta figure out how to do that, man.
Fontaine's your co-host, right?
I didn't know Zoom had that.
Yeah, that's TC.
That is TC? Okay, got TC from Young Kings Wrestling Podcast in the chat. All right. You don't need to do a virtual backdrop, Kurt, because you have a backdrop.
Yeah, but it's not virtual. like that shit. That's awesome. I can do shit like that. I mean, this is dope. I will say that, and I appreciate it. This one is because of you. It's way better than my old Patriots blanket. I look back at those podcasts before, and I mean, at the time, because it was very sudden. At the time, it was the best I could do.
You looked like you were huddled in a shack. Like you looked like you were from the movie The Thing, but you were trying to shoot a podcast while hiding from the aliens.
Oh, man.
I'm huddled in some cold fucking shack out in the outside the building.
Talking MMA.
Guys, Hammers podcast. I can't be too loud because there's some weird shit going on around here.
I'm going to be inseminated.
Last week's UFC.
Or assimilated, excuse me. Inseminated.
What did you say? I was too busy doing it.
I said inseminated instead of assimilated.
Oh.
All right, that's not funny. That's not funny.
Anyways. Anyway, we're moving on up. I got a mic now.
Stupid.
I got an actual camera. I got a background.
You guys want to talk about Miesha Tate?
It's almost not really. Because how do you... The fight wasn't close. I get it. Like, her fights with Ronda Rousey back in the day, I mean, Ronda wasn't as dominant, but it's like, I can see where she was like, all right, I want to fight Ronda again. Maybe I could pull it off. But what is she thinking? Like, oh, I have the style to beat Amanda Nunes. No, the fuck you don't. We already saw it. Nobody has the style to beat her other than maybe Shevchenko.
No, I'd say Francis Ngannou.
You know, well, yeah.
That's who I would. That's when I bet against Amanda Nunes.
Full bore on the gender equality there. I mean, fuck. Even John Jones. I mean, I don't know, because even Dana White was like, if I'm John Jones, I'd want to move down and fight Izzy. But Dana just has money signs in his eyes. Right. But either one of those fights is a fucking money making fight.
You want to hear something fucked up about
But no, I don't know. From Miesha, I don't know what Misha's thinking. Like, trying to come back and I mean, maybe money. I mean, I'd get my face boxed off for 5 seconds or so for money. because that's how long it's gonna be, man. I don't see it any different.
There's two sides I look at it from. Because one, I do think she retired a little bit off of emotion because she, you know, she lost the title and then she had that next loss. I think it was 205. The next event, and it was kind of just like, you know, you might have got burned out, you know. So and that happens because she's still young. She's not even 32, 31 yet.
She's a co-owner of
she's the
ONE
VP.
FC. Yeah,
Right.
What is her relationship with them if she's trying to fight in the UFC?
I think maybe, you know, I think maybe they're trying to do like not so much cross promotion, but maybe like.
So you guys think she's still affiliated with them?
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
With ONE FC?
Yeah.
As far as I know, yeah, she's still one of the head honchos over there. But, you know, because, you know, China and Russia have been trying to integrate themselves with the UFC for quite some time.
Right.
So
but
maybe it's a little cross promotion, something like that, but not official. You know, maybe just get people's eyes on ONE FC. But
she'll be sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. She'll be 35 this year in August. I was trying to look up her age. So I mean,
she has been fighting for quite some time.
If she's still in good shape, I could see her being in her prime. But this would be like a final run. Like you're talking final run at this point.
Kind of like Alistair Overeem type thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing too is, you know, she had that moment. She retires there, but it's like now you kind of see, you know, what the divisions are looking like, because Amanda cleaned them both out, featherweight and bantamweight. She comes back. You don't see a lot of major challenges to Amanda, so it's like, okay, you won't have as much of if she can still go at the, you know, the level that she was at when she retired. She should be able to climb the rankings, but then it's like once you get to Amanda, it's like, okay, that's where the buck stops.
Yeah,
because you're not going to beat Amanda. I'm sorry. Like I heard her talk after the fight. It's like the second she felt her power square in her face, it's like her nose just exploded.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why would
She
why
had
would
just
you
got
wanna
a
fight that
nose
person
job.
again?
Dana White commented on that too. She had just got a nose job, and Dana had told her like, "Don't." He's like, "Listen, keep fighting. We'll fix your nose when you call it a career." And she went, got a nose job, fucking then got it ruined.
Yeah, that's Amanda's thing. Just
why would you want to fight that person again?
Who fucked her face up worse, Amanda Nunes or Kat Zingano? Kat hit those tie knees, man.
Yeah,
those are
but
scary.
I'd have to say Nunes. Nunes's power and accuracy it's something else. You know, you see her
Literally?
with the long straights. She did the same thing against oh my god, I'm spacing her name. Long legs, tattooed, just ran right.
Megan Anderson.
Megan Anderson, yes. I mean, immediately. That's Nunes's thing. Her strikes are so long, so accurate, and so powerful. It's like it's scary.
If you look really close at all of her fights, look at the opponents. The second they get hit, one good time, their whole expression changes. It's like you see fear in their eyes, and then she starts smiling like a fucking serial killer. Like that's when it's
like
over.
Mike Tyson effect. You get hit once, and you realize, like, wow, the hype is real. That power,
legit power and technique in the women's division. You don't see it frequently, but Amanda Nunes,
I never get tired of talking about this.
Look
fucking Cyborg, dude.
Yeah,
her and Cyborg hit head on, full speed, and she came out completely on top. Cyborg, you know, is just another victim. She felt that power, and I mean, Cyborg is a savage enough to just keep throwing back. You know, she's got, you know, I've been hit hard before.
She'd never, she may have never been rocked like that, even in sparring.
I don't think she was.
I don't think Cyborg had ever been rocked like that.
Cyborg has been hit hard. She fought a few kickboxing fights and was dropped in those fights too. She was actually in her Strikeforce days. She fought a kickboxing match against a taller woman and was dropped, I think, in the first round, and then went to lose a decision. So she's been hit hard before, but she's always been so tough that she just keeps coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with Amanda, that's basically what happened. You know, Amanda hit her, and she was like, you know, I've been hit hard before, but then all of a sudden, you know, it's like, well, at some point, your brain doesn't give a shit. It's going to shut off. You know, it doesn't give a shit how tough you are. You're going to shut off, and that's what Amanda did. You know,
well, I like
Amanda's not. It's not like Amanda's going around TKOing these women. She is knocking them. She knocked Cyborg out.
Well, I love that she told about her game plan was that when Cyborg gets hit, she's a bull in a china shop.
Exactly.
Like if you tag in Amanda said that she just knew that the moment she hit her, which was the leg kick, the first leg kick, that Cyborg would just start rushing in.
Cyborg was not expecting that, and then Amanda just bam! I mean,
fucking started throwing, man.
And then it was like, all right, it's on. They started just fucking going at it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I'll never forget that moment when I was watching that.
My favorite. It's still my top 3 favorite knockouts. Fights of all time. Yeah, watch Cyborg get just cleaned.
Flat, and it's like because no one's ever done that. You know, Cyborg was always like the Terminator.
Oh,
yeah, this division.
Listen, man, I'm looking at here for Miesha Tate's like dream run, final run, and I stumbled across something so kind of funny. If you ever wanted to know how little UFC gives a shit about their women's featherweight division, go to their rankings page. There's no rankings.
There's no division.
It's just Amanda Nunes. There's no top 5, 10, or 15. It just says women's featherweight division, Amanda Nunes.
This is why you don't. This is literally why you don't create a division for one person, because they made the division for Cyborg.
Yep.
And then Cyborg had the belt, ran through like 2 people in it, and then she was gone after the Amanda fight. So it's like
they cut her. Like why not? Why make that fight? Because they should have known Amanda was going to win. Why not let Cyborg just own this division among, because there's women, heavier like Cyborg.
Cyborg just had baggage, man. She had baggage. She's not a marketable person. She got steroid popped. She's difficult to work with backstage. Her and Dana she fabricated a video of her talking to Dana White. Like she edited to create a scenario that wasn't true. Dana White had to come out and show
they did that to her. It was the opposite.
No, it was her.
Was it?
Yeah, it was her, man. It was her.
I faintly remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I thought I remember it being the opposite.
Just apparently, she's just
felt like remember her coming out and be like, yo, that's not, hell's going on.
Yeah, but it goes to what Reek said. There was no division. They needed Cyborg, and they didn't have enough women Cyborg size or talent.
They did make a decision just on her, and you can't,
The only people who really saw it there, I think, Holly Holm, Jermaine Durandamy, and I think Megan Anderson went for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, it was just like no one was going to 45.
Yeah. And you
so
get women that can cut, to other divisions. Why are they going to stay in that one? It's, I don't know. You ever seen that one chick in Japan though? What's her name? Gabby. She's bigger than.
Oh yeah. She fought like a 50-something-year-old pro wrestling woman.
Oh my god! I don't even want to talk about that. That
junk was hilarious.
Never seen that. Look that
up.
She
was running the ropes. She ran the ropes and did an MMA fight.
It's a full contact fight. I'm pretty sure this woman did not know that. Because she just starts running. Yeah, like you said, I guess that's what it called, running the ropes. You run, you bounce off the ropes, and you go and bounce off the other ones. And she literally has the She-Hulk sitting in front of her. Like, do you know that I'm legally allowed to punch you right now? She's like, no. It's like, well, all right, here we go. Bam. And it was whoever put that fight up should be fucking in jail. They should be in prison.
Look, man, that's Japan for you, though.
No, Japan loves its freak shows. I will say.
Well, it's not only that. They
freak show fights rather, not
but they love Japan. Their mentality. I could do a whole show on how much Japan loves blending MMA and pro wrestling together. Yeah. I love what they do.
I've heard of that.
It's cool. The years. It's so cool.
I've heard of it through the years.
Yeah.
In Japan, man.
Look at Sakuraba. Yeah. Sakuraba was a pro wrestler, and Japan wanted to show that their pro wrestler had legit, was legit, and then he went on and tore up the Gracies.
Yeah, the guy could actually fight. That's the thing.
And there's this dude over in NXT. Reek, you probably you watch NXT, right? I don't.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? Time Machine or Time Bomb or whatever.
Kushida.
Kushida's got the Sakuraba lock. He does a Kimura, and it's named after Sakuraba.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
Nod to Sakuraba. Okay.
Yeah, it's dope as shit.
Kushida can really whoop someone's ass. You can tell.
Yeah. You got to see his thing. His whole thing is Back to the Future. He looks like Marty McFly. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, dude. If you go
you got to send me a link.
If you go to his his New Japan entrances, they're surreal. They make it look like he travels back in time for his pro wrestling matches. It's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. I don't watch a lot of wrestling, but that actually does sound pretty awesome.
So what do you think of this for Miesha Tate, right? We have to agree. We're not going to get much time with Miesha, right?
Hold on. Because Reek was actually pointing out a good point earlier, and it made me think, do you think that maybe the UFC contacted Miesha Tate because Amanda had just cleaned the division? Like, yo, we need somebody to actually, sell some tickets and fight this woman.
Looking at the lineup, yeah, that
who
makes sense.
Yeah, there's no one. It's like Demetrius Johnson. Yeah. Demetrius Johnson just got done with the greatest heavyweight, greatest title run
from that.
Yeah, right. The greatest title run in his division's history. He broke Anderson Silva's record. He was breaking these records, and all of a sudden he loses one fight. Arguably, I feel like
it's debatable.
I feel like he won that second fight against Cejudo, and even though where's the rubber match? So they were like, all right. They were like, all right, we're gonna trade you for fucking Ben Askren.
Yeah, man, fucking awesome trade.
I don't know. I enjoyed his fights. They're fun to watch,
dude. I'm a fan of Ben Askren's social media game.
That's one of my
Ben Askren on social media is
one of my
legit.
favorite memories. Yeah, is that knee. I mean, I remember it. Askren probably doesn't, but
did you see that Jake Paul called up Jorge Masvidal during one of their press conferences? Was like, look who I got on FaceTime, bro.
But then also, because I've always been a huge fan of Damian Maia because he's so good at his craft. Mm-hmm. Seeing the fight with him and Askren was actually one of those like, wow, this is actually a pretty interesting fight, and it still worked out how I would liked. So I enjoyed that Askren's fights.
I think that just lets you know what could have been. Because I mean, we had all these expectations when he showed up, and it was like the questionable fight with Robbie was just a start. It was like, because I was like, wait a minute, we gotta go back and look at that, because that after he got dropped initially, I'm like, okay, so it's over. So the fact that he survived it, I'm like,
you could argue the ref could have stopped that fight too.
Yeah. So
you've
it's
seen
like,
fights stop for much less.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course.
But I don't know. Do you think Robbie was out?
No,
I don't
think he was out.
I
think he relaxed his arm.
It's hard to, right.
I think he relaxed his arm, and that's all it took for the ref. The ref saw a limp arm drop. Robbie let a limp arm drop. He shouldn't have done that. He should have done what pro wrestlers do and drop that shit. It was like, no.
He's fucking out, dude.
Yeah.
No, the crowd
no, that was on Robbie,
all of a sudden
man.
He slams him again, same way.
Yeah, but back to Miesha Tate once again. I'm trying to reel us back into this original topic.
Okay, no, that's my fault.
If Miesha doesn't go straight for a title, this is how I book her.
It's not.
I book her against leave out everyone ranked 6 and below. We go straight to top 5. Okay.
But okay, I'll stop right there. Do you think she deserves that?
Yes.
I would only say yeah, because like I said before, the division isn't strong anymore. It's like
and Miesha is.
There's not a lot of people that we believe that Miesha. Yeah. We're not a lot of people perceivably that we don't think that Miesha could at least contend with. Yeah. So I would see her being in that range.
So this is how I would do it. I would go.
She was one. I mean, everyone says Ronda was one of the pioneers. I mean, she was right behind Ronda for the pioneer.
There was no Ronda without Miesha.
Exactly.
Yeah. I put her against number 5, Yana Kunitskaya. Right. Get her feet wet. Assume that she wins.
I'd have to see her to remember.
Yeah, but we put her against Yana Kunitskaya. Then we put her, if she gets through Yana, against arguably the new version of Miesha Tate in Aspen Ladd, right? And if she can beats Aspen
Actually,
with
a
that
fight
dump
with
truck
her.
that she's got, then we throw her to Amanda Nunes. You get two fights. That's enough tape. That's enough momentum to get her back to Amanda Nunes, and then she gets shut down in 45 seconds. But that's
Like I said,
but that's how UFC gets their money out of her. Instead of going straight to a Nunes,
yeah.
I
think a fight
assume
with her and Aspen Ladd actually makes the most sense because
I like
I
the
see
idea of
her
her
fighting.
and Aspen
I
Ladd.
see her winning. I see her winning that match. I see it being competitive, but I see her winning decisively, and then she gets her role. Like, hey, I want my rematch. But I just.
And then Holly
She
Holm
can
and
have
Jermaine
her own-
Durandamy, who are 1 and 2, they can fight to take on Amanda Nunes after she gets rid of Misha.
Jerome Durandamy, she was probably the closest to beating Nunes. So I think out of all the women,
Kat Zingani was the closest.
She probably has.
Because Kat actually beat her.
She's not even. She's not even a. Oh wait, no, because Kat. Well, I mean, Nunes. She has had her losses in the UFC. She lost to Kat, and she. Wait, no, she beat Shevchenko twice, didn't she?
Yeah, but they'll all. Well, the first one was decision that you could clearly see. The second one was kind of more of a toss up at the end of it. She won by decision, but it was like, and if you go back and watch, it's so close you can't really tell.
And the thing is, especially coming off that second fight, look how much Shevchenko has improved. I mean, she's dominating her like no women. I mean, Holly Holm, when you outbox Holly Holm for 25 minutes straight, that's something,
Yeah.
So I think honestly, Durandamy and Shevchenko.
Oh no, fuck Jermaine Durandamy for that. No, fuck that, man. 2 late hits, both of them rocked home after the bell. I don't consider that fight canon.
I remember.
No,
I remember.
because she should have lost a point the second time, and it should have been a draw. The fact that Holly Holm lost that fight gets tossed out in my books.
I've been a Holly Holm fan for a while now, man. I love her style, I mean, God, you throw that patented Mirko left high kick, that's your thing. It's like, hell yeah.
The fact that she's named the preacher's daughter just makes her like super hot, because who ain't trying to get the preacher's daughter?
I mean, yeah, the nickname, yeah, but then, you can tell she trains very hard, and she has for like 20 something years because
Holly will fuck you up, man.
You can tell like by her look, it's like, no, that is an athlete.
You get Zola and you try to push her around.
That is a hard-working woman. She is not out there like Paige Van Zandt, like going on to Instagram, and putting up all this makeup. No, she's in the gym still to this day. Yep. And, I mean, you got to give her kudos, man, because when you're taken out by Amanda Nunes with your move, that's a
own kick.
Yeah, that's a heartening, man. For her to, after all these not knockouts, but losses, tough losses, to just still be grinding because she knows she's super marketable. She's always going to be at the top of the division.
I think she's just competitive. She strikes me as a legit.
Exactly,
I'm
she's
in this for my legacy.
Competitive and hardworking women in the women's division, any women's division.
What do you think, Reek?
Yeah, I mean, like she cemented her place. When she did the unthinkable, she put Ronda out easily, and were it not for of course, were it not for Amanda Nunes, I think she'd probably be the one holding the division down right now. But obviously, that's kind of it's like with a lot of these top contenders. The buck is going to stop with Amanda 9 times out of 10. So she's still going to be there, no question. I mean, if you put Misha in the conversation of top 5, I wouldn't be shocked to see her running to Holly at some point in time.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing about booking it. I was like, we already got the fight with Holly. I would want to see her with Aspen because I think there's like a story to be told there. Aspen cements herself as legit top contender, or Misha, shuts the gate down once, I don't know. You could book Misha with a lot of these women.
I'd like to see her against Holly just so Holly can get that win back.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no guarantee, man.
Oh man, I don't know.
I mean, it was a Hail Mary. It was a Hail Mary.
I mean, she Yeah, Misha went.
Misha lost
got that
5 out
lockdown.
of 5 rounds, if I remember correctly, in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and once she sunk that choke in, dude, she was not letting that go. So I mean, it was a deserved win, but and it's a little biased because I'm a fan of Holm. But man, Holm was she was Holly Holman her, dude. She was running away with it. But
all right, we'll go ahead and move on. Get a couple minor topics in and out. So it was officially announced by Dana after his 30-second dinner with Khabib that Khabib is retired.
oh yeah,
Dana says, "Do you guys really think so? Do you think he's retired?" Part of me does, and part of me says,
no, he is.
He's waiting.
No, he's not waiting, because after his father died, that was a big thing to him. I'm surprised he even fought again after that. And we all heard, he gave his mother his word, because his mother was the one that said she didn't want him to fight without his father in his corner. So seeing the way, Khabib broke down after his fight, and because he's always been a very deeply religious person, I think Khabib's going to keep his word. I think Khabib doesn't even want to fight. And thing is, the reason why Dana held off so long before they said he was officially retired is because they started just throwing money at him. I guarantee
and they wanted to give him time to grieve.
Yeah, but it's through all 32 of those dinners. He
Yeah.
was, just trying. He was saying everything he needed to say.
So you want some Fedor money? You
Yeah.
want some Fedor money right now? We'll give you Fedor money.
Probably offering him stock and fucking like official shares in the UFC and shit.
Man.
But no, I think Khabib was just because as religious as he's always been, and the death of his father was big on him. I think he's like, all right, I can't do it, as a person, and I mean I respect that, and I mean go out on top, man. I don't want to see you fight until you get that one shock loss, lose your.
I don't think people are saying that for him. I think people are just clamoring to the even 30. Like, I think there's something sexy about 30-0.
Yeah.
Still,
what isn't sexy about 29-0?
Because it doesn't end in a 0.
Especially,
it's indivisible.
29 wins and no losses.
It's a primary number.
I mean, to do that in MMA though, especially because Khabib's been in the UFC for years. He's been in the UFC for quite some time.
Yeah.
So to see, he basically did what GSP tried to do, but GSP had his losses. So it's like, why not go out right now? It's the perfect time. Why push it?
Have you noticed that people out of Dagestan, or what is it again?
I think it's
Dagestan. They're already surpassing Khabib as far as how do you put it? Khabib started out as a wrestler and developed the striking along the way, and now these guys out of Dagestan are coming out the gate full-fledged Terminators, striking, wrestling.
His cousin just fought last weekend or this weekend.
Yeah,
that was actually his second fight in I think 2 months with the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And Khabib was in his corner, and he looked great. Both fights, he looked great. So,
they're coming out the gate already more well-rounded than Khabib was.
I think he's really taken the role of his father, because his father was this great coach for years and years. And you see Khabib, he's coaching these fighters now. He's actually coaching Luke Rockhold for his comeback.
Yeah, he is.
So, because he's
a tall task.
Because American Top Team, I mean, that's you got fucking Daniel Cormier over there. You had Cain Velasquez. You have Khabib. It's a legendary gym. So for Khabib to retire and then become a coach, that's just going to make everyone else in that camp that much better.
Yeah, he can't do nothing about that glass jaw though. So that's an issue.
Yeah, no, I've never been a big fan of Rockhold, man. The guy just, you look at him and be like, oh, guy just looks like a prick. So, So it was ironic, man, because apparently, he's doing this modeling and shit like that, and then he gets his jaw broken. He's eating through a straw for the next 3 months.
Exactly.
So it was
kind of cathargic if you think about it, right?
Kind of what?
Cathargic. Like a lot of people have always pictured smacking around like some pompous model, and then we actually got to see it.
Oh, dude, Blachowicz. Yeah. I mean, God, dude, that's that slow mo of Rockhold going back with his mouthpiece just fucking half hanging out after that left hook. It's like, oh.
All right, going back, I think Rick
his head off the canvas a couple times.
I think Reek wanted to speak it on about these guys coming out of Dagestan.
Oh yeah, so I think I told you this. I was the last time PFL had their season, I was covering them Professional Fighters League. There's so many guys from there out of Dagestan that have just like that full package of intangibles. It's like, it's crazy. We saw, I think the first round of fights, we saw flying knee knockout in like 10 seconds from this one guy in the featherweight division.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that where the guy just pumped straight down like an accordion. Yeah. That
you could hear, because we were sitting on the media row. We were right there. It's like that was the loudest sound you heard all night.
Yeah.
And I mean, like between him, who's the guy? It's 176. Magomed Sharov at 170.
God bless you, trying, bro. Better than me.
Oh my God, yeah. they all. So many of those guys have the same name. It's insane. But yeah. I mean, they have that full range, and then like Magomed, the first season he was the champion, and he had an injury going into the playoffs, so he had to step out of the tournament, but he was on his way to repeating. It's like these guys are just building a factory of these fighters down there.
It's a different breed, man.
Yeah, for Khabib, I think, like, for a couple of reasons, I think that this is definitely it, because for one, it's like, outside of Tony, obviously that was the magic fight that we never got to see, which sucks.
No, we saw it. We saw it, man. We saw that with what's his name?
Oliveira.
Yeah, that was the fight. That don't get it twisted. That's the fight.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that was the fight. We saw it.
Yeah, Oliveira, they did go to the ground, and I mean Oliveira showed that he was the better ground fighter. So
Khabib, Tony D.
Khabib probably would have just mauled him.
But go on, Reek. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
that was your fault.
Nah, it's cool.
That was on you, Kyle.
I would have. I would have loved to see the fight, but obviously, shit happened like 5 or 6 times already. But outside of that, he beat everyone that was on target there. He beat all the top guys. Like, he held it. Once he won the belt, he went back. He fought Conor to solidify it, and then it went from there. It's like, what more do you really need to do? If Michael Chandler had showed up, a year, maybe 2 beforehand, then maybe we would say, okay, at least fight him before you go out. But he just showed up. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that, he was one of those guys that wanted to get out young. He didn't want to be sitting there fighting, late 30s into his 40s. It's like, okay, you get your wins in. If you go undefeated, you go undefeated. But he gets to 29-0. His father passed away. Obviously, we said it impacted him a lot, and he made that choice that he's going to hang it up. So I don't think he comes back. I think, honestly, he just kept telling Dana no until the point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna give some finality to this and sit down so that we can just be done with this forever. Like, listen, I'll hear what you have to say, but at the end of the day, listen, I'm good. I'm hanging it up. I'm done. That's it.
Yeah. And I think it may have taken Dana a while, but I think, this last one, Dana was like, all right.
Fantasy book your 30-0, or fantasy book your 30th fight. You're one guy. I'll take the obvious one, the least interesting one off the table, and I'll say GSP. Okay. So who's your guys' 30th fight?
For me, it has to be.
Just let us see Tony and Khabib. For the love of God.
That's all I want. I really don't care about any of these other guys.
It's just a victim of circumstance, all right? Please, all right?
When the world, listen, on your 6th matchup, and the world shuts down.
The fucking world shuts down. Jesus Christ.
What? Planet Earth.
Come on.
Closed.
One of the ones Yeah, Tony tripped over a fucking wire.
Yeah,
just because he's wearing shades
tore
and
his
stuff,
ACL
like
or whatever, man. Oh god,
That's just like
But
God doesn't want this to happen.
you've never been so mad at a man wearing sunglasses indoors before, you know.
But no, you're right. I mean, I don't know what it is about this fight. But yeah, it's like, all right, we can't do anything else. Whatever, shut the whole fucking world down. This fight just for some reason cannot happen. So whatever. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Dream fight. It doesn't even have to be for the belt. I just want to see it.
So let's touch on the final two topics tonight. We'll kick it off with the main event of UFC 260, Stipe Miocic, the top. Would you guys say the best heavyweight MMA? Did he surpass Fedor?
No.
Stipe.
No.
Stipe?
Yeah.
No. You're gonna. The UFC's heavyweight division, no fighter will ever come close to doing what Fedor did.
You sure?
They can't even have a champion defend the belt for more than 3 fucking times. Fedor went undefeated for years. The guy was like, the guy was like Khabib status, undefeated.
Yeah.
Especially this day and age, no heavyweight will ever do that. It's just the competition and the level of athleticism nowadays. It won't let it happen.
I kind of agree with that. Like Stipe absolutely joined the conversation, and he deserves to be there. You know, with a lot of big names on his belt, Fabricio, Overeem. You know,
for the UFC, I feel
the first time
he's the greatest of all time. But heavyweights, period, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, and then locked up the trilogy with DC. It's like you can't take anything away from him. But like you said, Fedor to remain undefeated in a heavyweight, especially in a better heavyweight division than the one Stipe had to run through. It's like
arguably the prize heavyweight division. I mean, come on, Yeah. Back then, it was just full of killers.
Listen,
hell yeah,
full of killers.
This is bad. I'm sorry, guys. This is a little off topic. Devin in our chat, he just said if Ngannou keeps up with his work, I think he might be able to hold it for a while. The funny thing is, apparently Ngannou's name is questionable, and Twitch had to actually ask my permission to post that comment. Like, and it highlighted it is like, is Ngannou an appropriate word to like put in Twitch? Fix your algorithm, Twitch.
Right?
Oh my god.
All right.
Anyways, no, I agree with you guys. It's hard to make the comparison between Stipe and Fedor. However, this is what I will say: if you're not going to put Stipe as the best heavyweight of all time, I will easily say second best heavyweight of all time. I will go into it saying that I don't think another man. Listen, UFC's competition while Stipe was champ is up there, man. Overeem,
oh yeah, I mean, like Reek was talking about, Stipe did beat every top heavyweight.
Yeah, and it's not like they were slouches. Some of Fedor's were slouches, bro. Some of Fedor's wins. Now, granted, he went a decade. You're not going to face the creme de la creme for 10 years straight. I understand that, but let's not get it twisted. Not every heavyweight fight Fedor had was like, top tier talent. Some of them you knew were lamb to the slaughter. Stipe was in there in Murderer's Row. Okay, name one easy Stipe championship fight.
Oh, none of them.
None of them.
Fight? Yeah, none of them.
No, everybody.
I mean, he did fight a guy named Phil DeFries.
Not for the title.
Exactly.
Not for the title.
Exactly. And then that name always stuck with me because it's just fun to say. Phil DeFries knocked him the fuck out.
So
he fought Fabio Maldonado when Maldonado weighed 205.5. Maldonado had a light heavyweight fight scheduled for that card. Stipe's opponent had to drop out, and Maldonado was like, all right, I'll go down the street and grab a fucking burger. I'll be right back. So we all saw how that went. So Stipe did have kind of gimmies, but what fighter doesn't when he's on the rise?
Yeah.
You know,
No. What's
other than
so?
Mirko Cro, 'cause he's
Before we
great.
get into the juicy part of this steak, let's trim the fat and let's just ask what's next for Stipe. If he,
okay, interesting.
yeah,
Stipe. Oh man, it's questionable whether he wants to hang him up or not. I don't think he does.
let's take
he
retirement
took-
off
He
the
took this loss kind of like the way he took DC's loss.
yeah.
He was like, it wasn't my night. You know,
He
you
even
win
in
some,
his
you lose
statement claims he knows what he did wrong.
Oh yeah, he fucking charged in head first into a left hook.
Why would you do that?
Like he looked like he couldn't wait to get caught.
No,
But
even before
he
that,
did-
he talked about
But
he
no,
wasn't
the
using
thing
his
is,
head
though,
movement.
because-
He thought
made the
Ngannou
kind
was
of
more
mistake-
winded than he was.
Yeah, he made the kind of mistake that Francis made in the first fight, basically.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
he came just swinging in there, thinking, okay, I got him now. But it's like, no, Francis has, out of the two of them, he has more power, clearly.
Oh,
So it's like, if you go running in there, that's your ass. But
Yeah.
And I've seen so many fighters, like their momentum going forward, they make, and I'm not taking anything away from Ngannou's power, but you see these fighters, going forward even a little bit and they get caught. That's 9 times out of 10. Those are the shots. So, and Stipe, and it credits Ngannou's chin, because Stipe, if you look back, Stipe tagged him just, especially how we were talking about last week. Ngannou, was coming in. Stipe hit him with a hard right straight, the same one he hit Verdun with and stuff like that. And Stipe felt the connection, and you saw him instinctively, be like, oh, I just caught him. Let's try to capitalize, rush in, capitalize, get some more shots off. And if you look back, you see Ngannou do like a tiny chicken dance for just a split second when he was caught by Stipe. You saw him plant. You saw his body just kind of like just twitch a little bit. But I mean, his chin is something else, because he came back immediately and bam. I mean, what a perfect.
I literally, it's crazy. I was just praising the chin of Stipe because of those shots initially he was taking.
Yeah.
And then it's like 2 seconds after I say that,
Yeah.
he goes and charges in and takes that hit.
Damn.
I'm like,
Oh, it was bad
man.
too. It was, oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Stanky leg. It was bad.
Ooh,
So-
that was absolutely crazy.
So it's just
what's next for Stipe though? Let's assume he's not, retiring. I don't think he's
honestly-
retiring.
In fairness, he
No.
deserves the trilogy match with Ngannou.
The UFC is not going to give him one. Let's be real.
Well, I'm just saying he deserves it.
I
But
know
no,
he does. I think he does too.
the UFC wants basically Ngannou and either
They-
Jones,
UFC,
first. because that's the money,
yeah,
or Lewis.
yeah. UFC wants Stipe as far away from that belt as they can without doing him dirty. Like,
Yeah.
if you need proof, go watch the
Fuck it.
press conferences,
Fuck it.
listen to
Have Stipe
Dana
fight
White.
Lewis. Have
They,
Stipe fight Lewis. Bam. Winner fights Ngannou.
yeah.
If Ngannou's
Well-
not going to fight Jones, say, okay, Stipe, Lewis, winner fights Ngannou and Jones.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
then let's carry on over to the main course, everybody. Ngannou won the world heavyweight title. What's on everyone's mind is, of course, the super fight with John Jones. John Jones came out today
Heavyweight division,
telling
perfect
UFC to cut him. I don't want to fight for UFC no more. A very public.
He said this before. It's weird.
No, but
This
right
isn't the
now it's
first
all
time
about
he's-
the money. So here's
Yeah.
what it is. Dana White is out here pushing Jones buttons. If you watch any of the press conferences, Dana White's making jokes like Jones should be cutting to 185.
Yep, I saw that. Jones did not like
doesn't
that.
really want to fight. When they say, listen, he's just talking about more money, Dana's like, let's get real. Some people want to fight, some people don't want to fight. So he's not acknowledging the money. Dana White's spinning this that Jones is A, scared, and B, doesn't really want to fight. Now you have Jones coming out saying, look, I just want to get paid,
No.
And so we have this ugly dispute. So we have a question of whether A, do we get this fight? And then B, if we don't, who does?
Well, what happened to the Jones saying like, all right, I'm moving up to heavyweight and I want to be like the greatest fighter of all time. I'm gonna get the heavyweight title, blah 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 blah. I mean, just the I think the he was talking shit, saying like something about, you know, daddy's home or something like that, you know, to the heavyweight division, talking shit to other heavyweight fighters.
While DC was there.
You know. Well, no, this was after.
Yeah.
This is after DC retired. So what happened to all that? You know, because Jones has been bulking up and trying to, you know, become a more natural heavyweight for a good 3-4 months now.
Did you watch the clip I sent you?
What happened to all that?
With Dana White's press conference, the Mac Life?
Which one was that?
The press conference Dana White held after Stipe and Ngannou.
No, I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch that? Okay.
Yeah.
Essentially, it went like this. Dana, like I said, essentially just spun it. Jones don't want to fight. Jones is scared. During that press conference, Jones was tweeting, I didn't bulk up for nothing. Show me the money.
Yeah.
You know, so we have this thing of Jones wants money. Dana's trying to, what would you say, Reed? You think Dana's just trying to push his buttons?
I think Dana almost wants, would prefer him and Adesanya for some reason.
I asked Reek, Kurt.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this just kind of adds to their whatever their rivalry is, whatever their issue is. Like, this is just another tale in that story, because, you know, the thing is, John has to understand that when you don't make yourself marketable to the current time, then you're always going to be going off of the price tag that they give you. Conor had to go to get a boxing fight and make over several millions of dollars just to get the money that he wanted. John has never done that, and he's made himself a liability several times over the last decade. So for you to sit up here and say, it's like, yeah, I understand you moving up in weight, it's a bigger risk to you. So yeah, you want to get a bigger check, you want to get more money, and you are undefeated. You are the consensus greatest of all time. But again, your fights now, from the time that John was, in further in his prime, when he was the young up and comer, when he was beating everybody, and I mean, just all these flashy wins that he was coming up with, since the time from the suspensions, when he came back, when he beat DC the second time, and then, you know, had to go and beat Gus again, from that time, it's like more people are watching to see if he'll lose than they are to see, oh, we've got to see John defend it in a huge fight. His fights aren't drawing the way that they used to. So when you're not becoming more of a draw, then what do you expect them to do in terms of cutting you the check, so to speak? Like, that's not what we're talking about here. This is the biggest fight that he can possibly get with Francis. If Stipe would have won it would have been with Stipe. And it's like, you're in their realm right now. You're at their mercy. So I understand wanting to get more money, but it's like, again, unless you want to go box and make a bigger check, you can't really talk about the money, man. Like, this is just where it's at.
I think both parties have to meet halfway. I don't think Jones is Conor McGregor red panty night. You know?
No. Jones put himself in this position.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Jones could have went on to be like, you know, being able to demand, you know, this Fedor money and Conor money and shit like that. But it's like, man, if I was Dana, I'd be like, you know how many fucking like crazy pay-per-views that you completely demolished?
UFC 200. We rolled out a yellow octagon, motherfucker, and you abandoned it.
Yeah.
Anderson
Silva had to take your place.
We had to move a venue on a week's notice from Vegas to California, you know, because you can't check your supplements or whatever the fucking shit was.
Yeah.
Cocaine and dick pills.
I'm halfway from a Jones hater to a realist. I acknowledge that if Jones didn't have all the controversy tied to him, he'd probably still be the pound for pound greatest.
Yeah.
But you can't take away the fact this motherfucker couldn't stop doing drugs, partying, and running pregnant women over while he was drinking and driving. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
at the same time, they go hand in hand.
But the thing is, what Reek spoke on is people want to see him lose. his fight with Ngannou, that's going to be the biggest thing. Everyone is going to be like, oh, you know, Jones, you know, thing with Stipe. Jones is going to have to walk the tightrope. He's going to have to be perfect. Can Jones even take him down? There's so much speculation and interest to that fight that it's like, I mean, pay the guy. I want to see it happen. You know,
I want to see it happen too, but I think Jones. That's why I said I think both
Jones
parties need to meet in the middle. I think Jones does deserve a pay increase. I don't think he deserves Conor money. You know,
No.
I think he needs to get up there and make some top money. You know, go ahead and make more money than normal, but don't be coming out here demanding fucking Conor dollars because it's.
There's a reason why the peak for him was the rivalry with DC.
Yeah.
Because there was so much animosity,
Yeah.
there was so much marketability to it.
It's
never been. He never had a higher moment in terms of his market and his his stock. There was never a higher point in that than when he was into it with DC. It's like when you can't just show up, fight, win, and expect that you're going to be the highest paid guy. That's not how it works in UFC.
Yeah.
If he goes to just in MMA in general, if they were to cut him, right, and he goes to Bellator, ONE FC, he's gonna run into the similar issues. It's like you're in, you know, whatever pay scale they're talking about here. You're gonna get respectable because you know who you are, but are you marketable? Can we put some vignettes up about you and posters and stuff like that? Can we really sell this to
Are
people?
you a crossover star?
Right.
No,
right.
you're not.
But it's like it's like you have to be able to, you know, give us something more than just okay, you're gonna show up, you're gonna see John Jones fight.
Dude, like I barely remember his Thiago Silva and Dominic Reyes fights. Those fights were some of the least interesting fights.
They were interesting to a degree because it was the first time that you really saw somebody be competitive with the John Jones. The Dominic Reyes fight was close. You could have called that for either fighter.
I swear, I feel like Reyes beat him. I know that everybody looks at it. I had it 3-2.
Yeah, and Thiago Santos, you know, if he hadn't have blown his knee out or whatever he did, I mean, Thiago was boxing him up.
Yeah, exactly.
Thiago was hitting him harder than really anybody has hit Jones.
Yep.
So especially to come off those two fights, you know, the Anthony Smith one, I mean, that was a garbage fight.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Like I said, I love MMA, Kurt. You know that. I'm the one who got you into it.
Of course.
Here I am apathetic about those fights. That right there should show you, as big of a fan as I am of MMA, I acknowledge how big Jones and Ngannou is. It is a huge fight. To me, it still doesn't strike me as Conor fights. It still doesn't strike me as red panty nights, man. It's still like I'll be bummed out. I'll be bummed out if Jones and Ngannou doesn't happen. But watch how excited I'll still get for Derek Lewis and Ngannou. I'll still be like, fuck yes, this rematch that will actually pay off the way that we originally thought it was going to go. You know, I'm not going to sit here and dwell like Tony Ferguson and goddamn Khabib. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time. Like, Jones is kind of a shithead to deal with anyways. Who cares? And that's the hole that Jones dug himself. Is there's a lot of people who are fed up with his antics. That's so what, Ben, if he walks? You know what? It could have been a great fight. It could have been. But do we really expect more out of this guy? And I don't think we do. And that's just my take.
But you see, the thing is, you got to look at it from also a competitive, you know, point of view. Is John Jones has already established himself as one of the the greatest light heavyweight of all time, and kind of one of the greatest fighters of all time. Period, pound for pound. So for him to move up to heavyweight,
he's still listed number one. I'll give him that in UFC.
Yeah, and then for him to move up to heavyweight and then take on, you know, the baddest man on the planet. This guy's knocking everybody dead, you know, that are, you know, twice as big as Jones, you know. So for Jones to move up and potentially, you know, get that shot, and if he wins, you know, that, I mean, I don't like the guy, but that solidifies him as the GOAT, you know. So that itself puts a lot of weight on that fight. That's what makes that fight probably the biggest fight in UFC history, other than probably Chuck and Tito 2 or
You
1.
think it's the test of the greatest of all time?
It's literally just like the two baddest motherfuckers are clashing, you know.
Yeah.
So it's that from competitive point of view, I'd love to see it. You know, John Jones outside of the ring, you know, he could be a piece of shit, but you can't knock what he's done. You can't knock what he's done, you know, in his career. So that's really why I want to see this fight.
Yeah.
I want to see, you know, the two biggest, baddest, you know, most acclaimed dudes go at it and see who wins. If Jones has the complete fighter IQ to beat Ngannou, I don't know if he can take him down. Maybe he gets a trip in there, but he's smart enough to beat Ngannou. Ngannou is powerful enough to work just like with Stipe and every other fighter he's fought. If he clips you, you're going the fuck down. And to have a fight with John Jones like that just pumps up the anticipation. Because like Rick was saying before, it's like people want to see Jones lose. Jones has never been dropped. He's never been rocked. He's
got the Mayweather effect going.
Machida rocked him, but arguably, like, he's never been like, oh my God, Jones, you know, oh my God, Jones is rocked. Oh, it's like Cyborg, you know?
No, like Mayweather. That's the epitome of that's called the Mayweather effect.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mayweather built his career off of
the biggest moments in UFC is if Ngannou flattens John Jones.
Well,
you just knocked out John Jones.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. John has quietly become the Floyd Mayweather in MMA because just look at the parallels. He started off as this guy with these huge, flashy, you know, knockout wins over guys or submissions, stuff like that. You were seeing the full range of his game. He was just dominating people. Now it's like, in the later years he's getting into, it's like he's become more of a defensive fighter. He's going to find a way to win the fight. He's not going to come out and attack and things like that. He's just going to keep you from using your best weapons on him, and he'll find a way to eke it out, you know, through a decision most of the time. I think the last fight he finished was Gus when he won the belt.
Yeah.
And those are shots to the back of the head. To this day, I'll go into my grave arguing that. It's true. That should have been a no contest. I'm not saying he should have been DQ'd, but those ground shots were all to the fucking back of the head, man. It pisses me off. God damn it.
Yeah, he has him. He's down on him with the ground and pound. It's not like he was finishing him on the feet or anything like that. No. So that's where he's at.
If you ever wanted a bigger reason to heat, like to not saying Jones is a piece of shit, but damn it if he doesn't make that argument hard to make. Like hearing his corner after he subbed Machida, and you hear Greg Jackson, I think it was at the time, like, go make some fans and go shake hands with Machida. Like they picked up the audio, like go be a good sport, man. Like go make some fans. Yeah, dude.
Greg Jackson, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, dude.
That guy's a smart coach.
The audio picked up on that, so unintentionally, that was a definite heel move. That's some MJF stuff in fucking goddamn Dynamite.
You gotta market yourself, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean Jones. Let's not get it twisted. Jones and Ngannou is the biggest fight UFC could make in years. It is absolutely a landslide, the largest and most marketable fight you could make in a long time. Jones just makes it hard to root for his reason for being apprehensive. Now, at the end of the article I sent you guys, now granted I sent it last minute, so I don't expect y'all to read up on it. Jones did say that there is an offer being made next week. So Jones went on record today on Twitter, like, cut me, I'm done with this bullshit, I'm done being disrespected. But that at the end of this whole fucking...
That's just a ploy to get more money?
Well, at the end of this tirade, he acknowledged that UFC has an offer coming for me next week to make this fight happen. The fight's gonna happen. It has to happen, folks.
It has to.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it has to happen now because say Lewis knocks out
Ngannou. There goes your stock.
There goes
there goes your heavyweight stock.
Lewis and I guarantee you, Lewis and Jones doesn't even make half as much as Ngannou Jones does, especially
no.
because of what Ngannou just did to Stipe.
Oh,
You know, right?
terrifying.
Because that's because they missed out on GSP and Anderson Silva because Anderson got knocked out, things started happening. They missed out on so many.
Nobody wanted that fight, by the way.
No,
like
they didn't.
Fighters involved.
No.
GSP wanted nothing to do with Silva and vice versa.
But the thing is, because the stock was red hot at one point, and they wanted it to happen, and then it faded out. Right now, the Ngannou and Jones stock is on fire. So if they're going to make this fight and they're going to make it as big as possible, they need to do it right now.
Well, it's the best the fight they can make now because Ngannou's likable. You know, you kind of
got the best fucking story, dude.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
God damn it, this dude. You ever seen that movie Blood Diamond?
Yeah,
this is about as close to goddamn Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio that you get, bro. Like,
it's a great movie.
God
it's
damn.
Like you have that perfect like we say in wrestling, that face versus that heel. It's that the perfect dynamic of the two. You know, depending on which side you're on the fence you're on with John Jones, but still, like that's a perfect clash of styles right there.
It really is. Yeah, Jones totally be the heel, and Ngannou.
It's weird to think of
very soft spoken. I mean, you would never know that guy is a killer.
It's weird to think that the Terminator would be the face in a match, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's a hard one to like.
It's so fucking hard.
Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk, but Brock Lesnar's the baby face. Like that is just that's a difficult. That's a weird dynamic.
Not WWE,
huh?
Nice. I said, can we make that happen? Bring them both back for one more fight.
Oh Jesus Christ, Brock Lesnar would.
Listen, we don't want to kill Bill Brooks.
Brock Lesnar today, I believe, would still be a problem for a lot of guys.
Yeah,
I don't know about top 10. Well, hold on. Maybe.
Bring DC out of retirement. Let's watch him fight.
Augusto Saki is top 10. I bet Brock could take his ass down.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. No, he would pummel him.
Yeah.
I don't think DC really wanted to fight him like that.
Hell no.
I think he could. I guess he would be fairly good with his wrestling against him, but I mean, because Brock's a wrestler too at heart, so it's like I don't know. I don't think he really wanted that.
It's kind of like whatever. I remember when Brock was facing Randy Couture. And I was like, and I told people, because a lot of people were like, no, Randy will chew through him. I was like, listen, list off Randy's strengths. He's a strong grappler, clinch strikes, ground and pound. List off Brock's strengths. Grappler, clinch strikes, ground and pound. There's a fucking like 50-pound difference between these two. Like, Brock's going to chew this guy alive.
Randy did take him down.
Yeah. Yeah, Brock tried to do that stupid fucking jumping flying knee. Oh, no, Randy did that. Randy did that, and that's what spilled his end.
No, you're thinking of Frank Mir, UFC 100.
That's right. Yeah, Frank that's right. Yeah, Frank got fucking
Uriah Faber.
Yeah, Uriah Faber. He got murdered. No, Brock was talking about Randy kneeing him in the head, and that's why he was promoting Coors Light over Bud Light.
Yeah. Oh no, he knew what he was doing. He said, I'm going to go home, drink a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay me nothing.
And I might climb on top of my wife.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go climb on top of my wife. Woo!
Yes.
Like, Jesus Christ.
I fucking love Brock Lesnar, man. I do.
Like, I knew I should have hired Paul Heyman. Just give the mic to Paul Heyman after he wins.
Anyways, that's our show, folks, man. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you guys in the Twitch chat. Thank you, Reek. Before we go, Reek, anything you want to plug, put yourself over, man. Go ahead. Tell everybody where they can find you at.
So you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ReekHavoc24. Also, go check out the Havoc Hour, where I talk sports and entertainment on Spotify, Anchor, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Got the videos up on YouTube as well. And, of course, check out Young Kings Wrestling at YK Wrestling on Twitter and _ at YK Wrestling on Instagram, because we had to move pages because Instagram fucking sucks. But, yeah, y'all check that out. It's all great content, guys.
Word.
We'll definitely have to work together some more. You said you have your own sports hour that's non-pro wrestling too. Let's do a little crossover. Get myself or my brother on that show too, man. Let's work together some more.
Yeah, man.
It was a ton of fun. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Leave a comment, rating, review in the podcast. Like and subscribe to YouTube. Follow us at Twitter at Hammers Lounge. Myself at The Kai Tai Show and Kurt at Hammer MMA. If you like pro wrestling, maybe check out Smack Draw Podcast, my pro wrestling show. It can be okay, you know. But until next time, everybody, y'all have a good one.
Fuck Steve Mazzagatti.
Yeah, fuck you, Mazzagatti.
I was waiting for you to say, like, hey, Kurt, you got anything left? You know?
Oh, my bad. You know
Man,
what? Hold
come
on.
on.
False finish. Reek, Mazzagatti. Fuck him, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. Everyone have a good night.
I mean, I guess that's the answer.
Sitting
to the
over here waiting for
jiu-jitsu.
my time.
You know?
I'm sure the same moment. Yeah, Kurt, you got...
Just turned, made eye contact, and I got nervous. I legitimately.
Perfect.
I'm coming for you. You better be ready.